Hi, Logan. So I wanted to go over the distance formula with you, make sure you understand it, and give you some ideas of what you can do when you're trying to memorize that distance formula, because it is a little tough to memorize. But then once you really understand where we got it, it's a lot easier to memorize. So let me share my screen. I'll go over that with you. So your problem that you were asking for today, and I'm probably sure you probably have a million problems like this. It's asking you is what is the length of the line? And they're wanting to know, hey, what is the distance from here to here? Okay. And so one way to kind of think about it is to go, okay, what if I just created a triangle right here? Okay. And I can use, other forms of math. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem to help me out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a right triangle right here. And I know that the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equals c squared, right? And so I go, okay, so a and b are the legs of the right triangle, right? So here are the two legs. So this would be a and this would be b. And the side opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, which is side c, which is what we want, right? So this is what we're actually looking for. We're looking for side c. So this is what we're trying to find. And we can use these to help us out. And so what we can do is we can go, okay, well, a is 1, 2, 3, 4. So a is 4 squared plus b is 1, 2, 3, 3 squared is equal to c squared, okay? And then 4 squared is 16 plus 3 squared is 9. That equals c squared. 16 plus 9 is 25 is equal to c squared. And then to solve this, all we do is we just take the square root of both sides, right? So we take the square root of both sides. The square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of c squared is c. And so now we actually know this is 5. Okay, so we know this is the right answer. But I want to show you the actual distance formula. Now you can use the Pythagorean theorem if you want, okay? But I want to show you the distance formula and how we actually get it, all right? So the distance formula is the square root of y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared plus x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared. And I want you to see where we actually got this, okay? So let's go ahead and figure out how we actually got these terms right here, okay? Now when we look for normal slope, right? So because it's real similar to the slope formula, right? We've got y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And we go, okay, that's rise over run, right? So we've got, here is the rise right here. So it's right here. Let's go ahead and just do the rise. The rise is 1, 2, 3. And the run is going to be this distance right here, right? So we run back over here to the line, okay? And so we're going up, it's positive. We're going to the right, it's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that slope is 3/4, right? So I want you to notice that how do these numbers actually play into our formula over here? And notice what they ended up being. One of them was your A and the other one was your B. So here we see that the Y's were the same thing as your B. And the X's, the difference in the X's is the same thing as your A, right? That's the exact same thing. And that's what we want you to realize, that we actually took it from the idea of finding slope and understanding what we know about the Pythagorean theorem to put these together to actually come over here. And so let's say, let's give these some points. Let's say that this is, well, of course we can say it's 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is 2, 2. And the other point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, so those are our 2 points, all right? And so now we're just going to take this formula over here and we're going to go, okay, distance is equal to the square root of, and we're going to do y sub 2. So let's take this one right here, which is 5 minus 2 squared plus, and then we're going to take the x's, and the x's are 6 minus 2 squared. And then what we end up with is 5 minus 2 is 3, so we get 3 squared, plus 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 squared. So we get d is equal to 3 squared is 9, plus 4 squared is 16. And then we get d is equal to the square root of 9 plus 16, which is 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. So I know that distance. So what we want you to do is we want you to be able to understand that there's 2 different ways you could tackle it, right? You could just create a right triangle right here and use the Pythagorean theorem, or you could use the distance formula. And if you're ever trying to figure out what the distance formula is, just remember this idea right here, right? We're going to take this one squared plus this one squared, and then take the square root of those. Okay, so that's what we wanted you to make sure you understand as you work on these. Okay, so the easiest is, of course, to use the Pythagorean theorem. What we want you to do is get to where you can memorize this formula and use it very, very easily. Okay, and that should get you through all those problems that you have with distance. Okay, so hopefully that helped you out, and I'll talk to you later. And then remember, if you're enjoying my videos, please subscribe and like. Thank you.